Recording in progress.
All right, everybody, we're going to begin right away with questions from the room. Zora, go ahead.
Zora Stevenson. I call some of your games, but also doing the game on Prime tomorrow. Sloot, I'll start with you. Did you ever do any of these like cup games when you played overseas, and what were those experiences like?
Yeah, it was a big deal when, especially in Turkey. In Russia, it was a Russian only, like only the domestic players played. But in Turkey, we played these mid-season cups called the Turkish Cup, and they were competitive, and it was money on the line, the same type of thing. Regular season kind of determined your seeding, and then you play round robin usually type to win the cup in the middle of the season.
And so what have you found works in these situations? Obviously overseas, but then you played in this game last year.
I think in the difference with those is it's like you just got to play the best team doesn't always win in those type of situations because there's a lot of the line. It's just, whoever plays the best that night. And in those situations, there's more games. I mean, this is just kind of like we played regular season and then one game. So there's a little different, but, it's kind of a little fun mid-season test to see where you're at. You're playing the other best team in the league usually, and, it's competitive. There's money on the line, so, it's fun.
And Sabrina, for you, Game 2, you all came out because you wanted to respond to the way things happened in Game 1. And, competitors would think that Vegas is going to come out tomorrow because of how Game 2 went for them. How do you match the level of energy when you're not coming off a loss?
Yeah, well, we have to go out and play our game and also understand that it's us versus us when we get out there, and we want to be our best. And the last game we, played against them, we played good basketball, but we know that we can take our game to the next level and do that for 40 minutes. And so for us, there's always room for improvement, always ways that we can continue to get better. And obviously we know they're going to come out tomorrow on their home floor, not having lost here before, and wanting to come back from that loss that they had at our place, and we're going to have to be able to match that intensity or beat it with just the urgency of wanting to play our best basketball.
And how do you think the group as a whole, talking about the Liberty, the defense has evolved as the season has gone on?
Every single game, it's, we've taken huge steps in the right direction, just understanding tendencies, and our team defense has been great. It's not always going to be one-on-one, and it's going to be with the 5 players that are on the floor, and obviously using communication to continue to get us through the little mishaps that we do have, just, building chemistry as every single, game goes on. But defensively, I think we've taken huge strides and are going to continue to do so throughout the rest of the regular season and into the postseason.
All right, we're going to turn to Zoom. We're going to start with Michael and then Fifi. Michael.
Yeah, this is for Courtney. Jonquel said, I think yesterday when we were talking to her about the importance, even though this isn't the big championship, still getting hardware, what that means, to the Liberty and fans. And I just wonder your thoughts on that in your first season, what it would mean to try to get this particular championship.
Yeah, I think it's a good start, and it gives us as a team and a franchise, kind of a good feeling going into the rest of the regular season and playoffs. Like we built this team to do exactly this. Is we're striving for hardware, and this is just as important right now for us to go in and win this and kind of set the tone the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Michael. We'll turn next to Fifi, and you'll be followed by Miles. Go ahead.
Thanks. This one's for Sabrina. Stephanie Dawson wasn't available for 2 games when he played the Aces. Obviously, she's back. Started on the minutes restriction, but also added a couple more minutes in yesterday's game. How much does her being available for this game tomorrow help boost the team's chances to get the W?
It's huge. Every time we can have Steph out there on the floor, we better our chances of winning just through her leadership and how well she knows the game of basketball. And so we're excited. We know that we're going to be able to use her and what she's able to, create for us offensively and defensively as well, and, give us depth in that 5 position.
Thank you.
The follow-up, Fifi, or good?
Good.
All set? All right, we'll turn next to Miles and then Jackie. Miles, go ahead.
Hey, Courtney. Yesterday, you set the Liberty single-season assist record. And for a franchise with history dating back to the beginning of the W, what does that personal achievement mean to you?
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
All right, thanks for telling us that. No, it's awesome. You know, such a historic club with a lot of great point guards that gone through this team, and you know, it was a lot of my teammates just making shots. You know, just trying to be aggressive and find them the open looks, and you know, it means a lot. I'm looking forward to continuing, you know, that going forward.
And Sabrina, I don't know if you know this, but she just placed you on the list. You had set that franchise mark a year ago. So what have you learned either from Courtney or what have you learned either from Courtney or playing alongside her that has helped you to improve your game this season?
Well, there's no one else that I'd want to beat that record besides Courtney. So I'm super excited. And obviously being able to share the floor with her and just learn from the experience that she has in that point guard role and how she's able to just have the poise and be able to get everyone open looks while also maintaining aggression and being able to get to the basket is something that I'm able to learn from her every single game. And I'm super excited. I think she's going to shatter that record by the time she leaves this organization. And we expect 14 or 15 from her every single night. And it's our job to put the ball in the basket.
Thanks. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Miles. Jackie, you're up. You'll be followed by Rafiq and then Christos.
Good afternoon, all. Thanks for taking the time. I just want to build off of Michael's question about what this means, but it's also you're playing for something that's bigger than yourselves. And I've been surveying your teammates a bit, and I heard that you got a presentation from Callan Lord last week, the organization that you're playing for. So I'm just curious what both of you got out of their presentation and how knowing a little bit more about them motivates both of you to put your best foot forward to win.
Yeah, I mean, it was great meeting with them, and we were able to kind of learn what they do for the LGBTQ community. I mean, it was obviously big, and they do it, you know, in Brooklyn, and other locations too, but it's just nice to see how the work that they're doing and how it's impacting people of that community, and just, you know, just meeting board members that are now on board members and how they were impacted by the work that they do and the resources that they're able to provide. You know, it does give us extra motivation to know that, I mean, either way, we're going to be supporting them and moving forward, continue to creating this partnership and to support the work that they do.
And Sabrina, for you.
Yeah, I mean, everything Courtney said, and I think just being able to understand what we're playing for and being able to talk and, you know, get a presentation and also just understand how our game and what we're doing on the floor is impacting the community around us. And it puts a lot of things into perspective about why we play. And obviously we're not going into this game thinking about what we're doing for the community, but I think it just puts things in perspective on the game that we love so much and have committed so much hours and you know, adversity throughout the season. It means something to someone else, and I think all of us left that meeting just understanding you know, what we're playing for and how it can change someone's life.
Thank you both. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Just a reminder, folks, if you have a question, please use the raised hand function. I'm going to turn next to Rafiq and then Christos. Rafiq?
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports. This is a question for Courtney. How meaningful will it be for the New York Liberty to win the Commissioner's Cup after the type of season they're having?
How would it mean, is what he said? Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like I touched on, you know, I think it's a really, would be a great thing for us, kind of just as a test right in towards the end of the season, but the middle of the season, just to know, you know, where we are with the best team in the league right now, and just being able to bring hardware at home, knowing that like what we're striving for, what we're working for, you know, we're on the right path.
Appreciate this time. Good luck.
All right, thank you. And Christos?
Hello, ladies. Hope you're doing well. Sabrina, question for you. You played for the Liberty since day one of your WNBA career. You have seen the highs and the lows of the team. So winning a trophy with the Liberty, how big is that for you? What does it mean to win a trophy with the Liberty?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the most important trophy won't be won tomorrow, and I think just understanding that it's a stepping stone in the right direction, and it's a goal that we've had to start the season. And obviously being part of this organization kind of from the bottom and now working its way to the top, it's always nice to see the steps that we've taken to be able to compete at the highest level and to be in this game. The last couple of years I've just watched it, and so finally being able to be here and understanding the work that it's taken, not only us as a team this year, but the organization motivation throughout the last couple years to be able to put a team together and assemble us to compete for championships is exactly what they've done. And so obviously we understand tomorrow's a huge game, but we obviously want to be the last team standing, and checking that off the box tomorrow is just a step in the direction that we're headed.
Thank you very much. And Courtney, question for you. You mentioned earlier the cup experience overseas. So have you got any remarkable or any favorite story playing overseas about cups, especially in Turkey?
Yeah, I remember that I was playing in Yakendo at the time, and it was kind of a Fenerbahce has kind of dominated the league at the time, and no one was winning the Turkish Cup other than them, and we ended up upsetting them in the Turkish Cup. It's just a one-game thing, and we happened to play better that night. And so, I think that was something that, it was a big deal for the club at the time. It was kind of a new thing. And so I think we can relate that to our situation here. It's the first time the Liberty has played in the Commissioner's Cup. I think it's a little bit, I'm not saying that we're like that we can't win or whatever, but I'm saying that to go home and just bring this hardware home is a big deal for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christos. We'll turn to Aristides and then Michael. Aristides, go ahead.
Hello, thank you a lot for this opportunity. I have a question from Ms. Ionescu. I would like you to comment on how important three-pointers are significant from your team's game plan. You are the first in the three-pointers made in the league, and your team Liberty has the highest shooting percentage so far this season.
Yeah.
So how important?
Yeah. It's super important to be able to come out, and we understand, how great we are offensively and how each one of us are able to, space the floor out, and our bigs are able to shoot the ball really well. Obviously, our guards are getting a great opportunity to get open looks as well. And so the more we can continue to learn to play off one another, and obviously doing that through shooting is going to help us, establish dominance in the paint. And so I think that's something throughout this last month we've really been able to take to the next level. And obviously throughout the rest of the season, we're going to have to continue to do so.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Aristides. We're going to turn next to Michael. Michael, you'll be followed by Fifi. Michael, go ahead.
Courtney, I think this is for you, but obviously, Sabrina, if you have some thoughts, I'd love to hear them too. I think we talked to you guys before the game earlier this month about the fact you were playing Las Vegas 4 times this month, and how, even though that's not quite as compact as a final schedule, it has some similarities. How much do you guys feel like there are tactical changes in the games between you guys, or is this a case where you guys know each other so well it isn't as much about tactics?
No, I think it is about tactics. It's about making adjustments from game 1 to game 2 to game 3. Like you said, we're going to be playing them several times, twice this week. And it's about making adjustments. We can't just go out there and expect the same game plan that helped us in game 2, beat them in game 3. They're just too good. And so we're making adjustments as if, to put out a better product for the game 3, to try and like I said, a chess match, to try and kind of have a game plan to beat them in game 3.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for 3 more. We're going to turn to Fifi, then Miles, and Jackie, and we'll wrap it up. Fifi, go ahead.
Thank you. Just one more for the players. Just something kind of unrelated. Just wanted to ask about the experience of flying on the charter yesterday, what that was like, and maybe was there any funny stories, funny experiences you had while traveling from Indiana to Vegas?
It was amazing to be able to fly just right after the game and get here at a normal time. I think we all talked about just how great our bodies felt after playing an entire game and traveling 4 hours, flying 4 hours. And normally we understand what that feels like and how heavy our legs feel and how tired we are by the time we get to the hotel. But we all felt super good. Yeah.
Next question, we'll turn to Miles.
I just stopped because the echo.
Didn't want to hear the echo
I didn't want to hear the
anymore.
echo anymore.
Okay, Fifi, do you need to go back again, or are we good? Miles, and then Jackie.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Courtney, I just had one more for you. Having played in, like you said, overseas in a game like this, and also in a Commissioner's Cup final before, what is the atmosphere like? If you had to liken it, does it feel closer to like an all-star exhibition or a regular season game or even a playoff game, especially kind of with the stakes knowing that you'll see Vegas a few more times this month?
Yeah, I would relate it more to like a early round playoff game. You know, it's that like this competitive, you know, you're playing for something, but there's not quite the pressure of like a final series. You know, but you are knowing you're going into this game with a much more focus than I would say like a regular game. I don't know if that's the Commissioner Cup as much as it's just playing another best team. You know, you really go into every game really locked in. You know, there's stuff on the line. You want to end the season because we have goals. Like Sabrina said, this was one of our goals, and it's a good stepping stone for us. And you know, we're going in this game to win it. That's what. And it's not as a series. It's not to win. Oh, okay. You know, it's like we're gonna go in and we want to win this game because of what we've worked hard to get to this point.
Thank you.
I'll return to Jackie for the last question.
Yeah, this is for Courtney. Sandy spoke about yesterday after the game that this team's next step is really making sure that the bench feels comfortable every time they come out on the floor. And so I'm just curious, what has been the impact of mixing up lineups in practice? I was at a couple of practices and I saw that the starters and the bench players were sort of intermixed rather than just practicing unit by unit. So how does that impact you, and how does that impact the bench as sort of everyone sort of tries to continue to build moving forward?
I think it helps build chemistry with players that, you know, if we're only practicing with a starting unit, you know, there's players that our only time playing with them is in games. And the same for them, you know, bench players come in, if they only are playing with each other, they have a different role when they're playing. You know, they come in and say, Maureen comes in with the starting group. She's got a different role. And so, you know, it just creates that chemistry across the board. You know, letting Sabrina play the point in the second group, not the second group, the other group. And just, you know, having the difference between that. We're creating chemistry that, you know, the starting five doesn't play the bulk of the minutes together. You know, we're always mixed up, and we have to be able to, you know, be really efficient and trust each other no matter what the lineups are.
Thank you.
All right, Jackie. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. Courtney and Sabrina, thank you.